Hello there, my Padawan learners, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I am going to be doing a Q&A video. I got a lot of questions submitted from so many loyal subscribers to the channel and a few new faces, which is really exciting. I'm going to be reading them from my laptop because I don't have an iPad to read it from, so let's get on with the questions. The first one is from CGS Props, and he asked, what is your most anticipated film or show of 2026? That's a really good question. I would have to say for movie, it's definitely the new Hunger Games movie that is coming out later this year called Sunrise on the Reaping. As for a show, I would probably have to say Ahsoka Season 2. Next, we have two questions from Charlie Thomas, and the first one is, what is your favorite saber color? Definitely cyan. Next one is your top 2 favorite John Williams soundtracks. The first one would probably be Across the Stars. The next one would probably have to be the Binary Sunset theme in A New Hope. It's just so iconic. The next one is from Samiras, and he said, how do you feel about seeing the GOAT Ben Quadraneros back in the new pod racing game? I think it's awesome. We haven't had a pod racing game in years, so especially with today's graphics, it's great to see that we'll be getting a really decent one. I don't know if I'm gonna get it at launch. I'll probably wait for a little bit until it comes on sale. What will really sell me on it is if it's cross-platform, so I can play with multiple friends all over on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, because we all don't have the same systems, which makes it difficult to game together. But I'm sorry, I'm going for Sebulba. I am going to be a menace and wipe you all off the track. Next question is from Corey Asada. Great name. And he asked, what are my top 3 lightsaber duels? Probably starting at 3, I would have to go with the duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith. The reason why that one ranks a little bit lower on my list is because my only gripe in that one duel is the scene where Anakin and Obi-Wan are spinning their sabers like it's choreographed. I mean, I know the entire fight is choreographed, but it just looked funny and out of place, and it kind of broke the flow of the duel between them because they're both trying to essentially kill each other. So I feel like it was just one of those moments where it took me out of the fight for a split second, and then they slashed their sabers. I don't know, that's just my only tiny nitpick with that duel. The second one would probably have to be Darth Vader versus Luke Skywalker in The Empire Strikes Back. No matter how many times I've seen that duel, it sends chills down my spine every single time. Even though it's a little slower paced, it still keeps me on the edge of my seat even though I know the outcome. I'll never forget the first time ever watching that scene. I thought Luke was in serious trouble, especially since Vader sliced his hand off. And then it reveals that big moment where he says, Luke, I am your father. It was such a big moment and a huge plot twist for the first time seeing it as a kid. And at number 1 is hands down Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn versus Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace. That is, if not one of the most iconic fights of all time. And the fact that they had to slow that fight down between Obi-Wan and Darth Maul is insane because that's how fast they were going, and the fact that they didn't think people weren't going to believe it is wild to me. Like, to this day, I still wish we saw that uncut version. The next question is from Justin. He said, when are you going to start One Piece? Listen, dude, how about this? If I can beat the next Jedi game that comes out on the hardest difficulty all the way through, not even stopping or lowering the difficulty, I will watch One Piece. Also, I'm throwing another curveball in there that includes all my friends watching Demon Slayer, for those of you who haven't caught up. So yeah, if my friends have caught up to Demon Slayer and I beat the next game on Grandmaster, I will watch it. The next question is from the Stanleys, and he said, if you could live in a fictional world, which one would you want to live in? Star Wars, Harry Potter, Middle Earth, and what would I do there, and what organization would I want to be a part of? Okay, as much as I love Harry Potter, I'm probably gonna knock that one down. I'm sorry, I have to go with Star Wars. Don't get me wrong, as much as I would love to be a hobbit, even though I am one in real life because I am very short, I would give anything to be a Jedi and have a lightsaber, and I probably would be part of the Jedi organization. I'd probably be a gray Jedi though, because I'm sorry, I'd fall in love with someone fast. I mean, come on, man. Obi-Wan, Anakin, Cal Kestis. The next one is from Abby, and she said, who do you like as a villain in the Cal Kestis story? Trilla in Jedi Fallen Order or Bode in Jedi Survivor, and why? In terms of villain, I would probably have to go with Trilla. She is just so cool, man, and every time I see her on the screen, she is just menacing looking. I loved the fact that she was Cal's counterpart and the opposite of him. Basically, she is a reflection of what he would become if he chose to go down the dark side path. I was so bummed that she actually got killed off because I would have loved to have seen more from her. As much as I liked Bode's plot twist, that was kind of more of a shock factor, and I wouldn't necessarily label him as much as a villain. I feel like that was more of Dagan Gera's role. I've got a handful of questions from the Skywalker Academy. I will split some of these up, but let's start off with the first one, which says, what got you into Star Wars? It was just basically one of those things that was always played in my house, and when I was a young kid, I just found myself always kind of glued to the screen whenever it was on. And at this time, Revenge of the Sith was coming out in theaters. So my family sat me down, we watched all the movies together, and then we went to the movies to go see Revenge of the Sith. And I guess you could say from that moment on, I was instantly hooked. This next question is, what other franchises do I like besides Star Wars and Percy Jackson? As I said earlier, Harry Potter and the Hunger Games series. I really do enjoy the Lord of the Rings series as well. I feel like I'm missing something else. I was into Marvel for a little bit, but not as much anymore as the years have gone by. Spider-Man was my boy, still is my boy. I did watch a little bit of the new Daredevil show that came out. I still have yet to finish it. Please don't yell at me to my friends who are watching this right now. I love the How to Train Your Dragon movies. I thought the live action was also really good recently. I saw it last year. Also, anime, I guess if you count that as really a franchise, but mainly Demon Slayer is my go-to. I love it so much. And his next question is, what kind of lightsaber would I like to have, and what type would I wield? Single blade, double-bladed, dual-wield, or double-bladed? What lightsaber form would I like to have and use? And the color of my lightsaber. I know you're an expert on forms for lightsaber stances. I, however, am not. But if I had to choose one, it would probably be Form 3 because, and I'm only basing this off of my tennis skills, I feel like that would probably best accurately describe my form technique while wielding the lightsaber. Also, it would be a single-bladed, because as much as I would love to do a dual wield, I know for a fact I would just drop one or accidentally stab someone while I'm trying to run and fight enemies. So probably single-bladed, and cyan or the traditional blue color would probably be my lightsaber color. And as for the look itself, you are so lucky I have a picture of my saber from the one I customized in Jedi Survivor. It would probably look a lot like this one. Not Cal's half, but the other half that you see at the top. Next, he asks, what are my favorite books to read? I've read Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, the Hunger Games series, The Hobbit. I've read the entire Demon Slayer series. I have yet to read Lord of the Rings. I have not picked it up yet. I've read the first 3 Dune books. I've also read the Heir to the Empire trilogy, which is still my favorite trilogy of Star Wars books to this day. I wouldn't necessarily say I have a favorite, but I kind of read a little bit of everything. He does have one more question, but I'm going to save it for the last one because it's actually a really deep question. and I would like to wrap the video up with that one. Next question is from Elias, aka Strike, and his question is, should Turgle be the main character of the next Jedi game? 100% Turgle should be a main character in the next game. I loved Turgle in Jedi Survivor. I also loved Scuba Stev. I was probably the only one who sat down and listened to every single fishing story he ever had. I love Turgle. I took a lot of pictures of him in the photo mode, and every time I posted it on my story or my YouTube channel, people would go crazy, and it was the funniest thing ever. I just loved it. Plot twist, what if Turgle is the next villain in the game? The next question is from my girl Avela, and she said, what inspired you to start writing your own stories? 2 words, Cal Kestis. No, I'm joking. Way before I actually worked on my Cal Kestis trilogy, I was on a writing website called Wattpad, and I left that website because it just got very toxic, and I used to write I'm really exposing myself here. I used to write little One Direction fan fiction stories, but then I started branching out into kind of like Hunger Games inspired stories or even Harry Potter kind of fan-made stuff. But then Star Wars started coming into the mix, and then originally I was going to write a Luke Skywalker story, but then when Fallen Order came out, I decided to do a Cal Kestis trilogy instead. I don't know what it was about writing. I always wrote mini scripts when I was a kid, and I would reenact scenes from movies with friends when I was a kid, and I just always had the urge to write my own stories, write my own characters. And speaking of my Cal Kestis trilogy, I'm announcing this here now. Originally, I was planning on writing a 4th Cal Kestis book, and I had a concept, I had an idea, I had some chapters going, and sadly the flow was just not there. So I'm sorry guys. Thank you so much to everyone who supported that trilogy. I feel like I left it on a good note, and I feel like I said everything I wanted to say with Cal and the Mantis crew, and I want to leave it up to your guys' interpretation where you think Cal and Marin's story will go next. Also, I feel like it wasn't fair for me to write a half effort story and just throw something out there for the sake of putting it out there. I don't want to do that to you guys, and I most certainly don't want to put myself through that. Alrighty, and the next question is from Cal Westis, and he said, what is your favorite poncho color? I know what you want me to say, dude, and I'm going to cheat and give you my top 5 favorite poncho colors because I cannot just pick one.
Do you think it was because of your story that people played the first game? No. Poncho.
The first one is definitely Cal's Braca poncho. That one is just super iconic. I also really like one of the ones you get on Kashyyyk, which is the camo poncho, which I like that it's a little Easter egg to Return of the Jedi from the ponchos that Luke and Leia wear when they're on Endor. The next poncho I really like is the Shio bird poncho that you also get in Kashyyyk. I don't know why, I feel like it was almost like if Kashyyyk had a gift shop and there was like an exotic bird museum of the Shio bird, that would be like a souvenir poncho for Cal. Another poncho that I really like that I've actually used the majority of my gameplay the last time I played Fallen Order was the one you find on Zepho. I don't know what it's called, but this is what it looks like. And it was just really cool and unique and different. And last but not least is the pink poncho. As much as it makes me cringe over the years, it's grown on me, and I love that it's a huge meme. But yeah, I've grown fond of the pink poncho. Pink poncho for life. Last but not least is the final question from Skywalker Academy, and he said, what does Star Wars mean to you? Honestly, the interconnectivity that I've had with people over the last couple years is just insane. But also, Star Wars means balance to me. It reflects my own spiritual belief that everything is connected and that growth comes from understanding the light side and dark side within ourselves and other people that you encounter in life. But what's always important is to trust yourself and trust in the Force itself. Whether that's a personal journey that you're going through yourself, or God is showing you signs to go down a certain path, or you're making decisions on your own inner intuition to make a big change in your life. Friendship, family, adventure. It surrounds us, it binds us, and connects us all together. And that's about it. Thank you all so much for submitting your questions. I loved reading through them. Some of them made me laugh a lot. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in, and I hope to see you all again very soon. Until next time, my Padawan learners, may the Force be with you always.